forewarned weather with Exact Track 4D.
Well, finally a day where we're not talking about a forewarned weather alert. We haven't had a day like this since the end of last week. So that extreme heat finally letting up a little bit. Don't get me wrong, it's still going to be hot and humid today, but certainly not as oppressive as it has been. Now, we still are holding on to chances for some storms through the afternoon and off and on chances the next couple of days, at least as we're rounding out the work week. But a little relief today. Humidity, though, stays high throughout the week. And then the weekend, well, mainly dry, but it's going to be hot. So speaking of hot, we've had 4 days in a row where we have hit at least 90 degrees, and the last two, specifically at Metro Airport, 95. Now, we were a couple degrees shy of tying the record yesterday, but we did have that tie for the record high on Monday. Today, we're looking at 70s and 80s. Now, the farther north you go, it'll be a bit cooler, but for the folks that are going to be around the metro area, likely lower 80s and then possibly mid 80s the closer to the Ohio state line. Muggy, storm chances will be a bit more prominent in our southern communities. We're going to dive into that in just a moment here, but after 2 o'clock is when we really start to see those storm chances pushing west to east, maybe a smidge earlier in the far western suburbs. And so high temperatures today. Here's a little look at that, a glimpse as you get along. M59 closer to 80, upper 70s north of there. Low to mid 80s across the metro area. Smidge warmer to our south where those heat indices will be closer to 90. But hey, at least we're not talking triple digit heat indices. Clouds and radar. So walking you through the timeline where I've stopped the clock at 2, a little more impactful off towards Washtenaw County and south. And that's going to track along a stationary boundary that's kind of parked itself right close to the Ohio state line. By 6, I think that we have a lot of this out of here, though I'm not ruling out a couple isolated, lingering, non-severe storms at that point, and that will end up being the pattern as we're just in this active pattern the next couple days. So tomorrow morning and beyond, isolated shower chances, and we'll have that through the afternoon tomorrow, even into your Friday. So certainly not a widespread washout, but you want that umbrella on hand just to be safe. Now, diving into the severe part of today, or at least the potential, south of I-94, so that does impact Monroe, Lenawee counties, and damaging wind gusts like yesterday, where you could see those straight line winds up to about 60 miles per hour, and some flash flooding with a quick heavy downpour. Everything else will probably not necessarily be on the table, but those will be the two prominent threats. Rain chances stick with us through Friday. We get a nice break from that just in time for the weekend for outdoor plans, and then storms will reappear going into Monday. Tomorrow's threat, though, will be northwest of here. So if we do see some of those popcorn showers or non-severe storms, they'll be just that, non-severe, as the severe threat will be missing southeastern Michigan. Muggy meter, though, even though we get a little break from the extreme heat, the humidity not letting up. So we will have tropical-like conditions going all the way into the weekend. Let's talk Tigers, because there was a rain delay yesterday. Not saying that there can't be one in the next couple days with isolated chances, but I don't think that we see a complete rain out. Come tomorrow, mid-80s for the high and right around 90 on Friday as we're starting a new homestand with the Twins. So your full forecast, well, will be right around 90 Friday and Sunday. So we're not done with the 90s quite yet, but we will have a drier weekend ahead and still pretty toasty to start next week.